the next generation of kids that are coming up, you can't just give them you can't just give them the, like, racism and not think that they aren't going to see the truth online or see people that in real life. And it's like, none of that is like, you have to believe that to your core and just completely say nothing else is correct. It's like, it's forced behavior at that point. Like before, the 60-year-olds that came up, they had the information that was presented to them. And then they had the propaganda on TV, and then they had whatever, and then they had their parents. That was the only thing that they really saw. And if they didn't get out of their hometown or home area, that was really all they saw their whole life until, you know, their grandson or granddaughter came home with somebody of a different race. Now, as soon as a kid can pick up a phone, they're able to to look up info. They can prove you wrong as a parent immediated. Right. You just gonna go to bed. That's all you can say.
This is the Stxhes Podcast. Everybody, thank you so much for coming in. We've got Brandon, Philip, Gene, Dwayno, and myself, Donnie. Thanks for tuning in.
You're like, I can't take this shit no more. I'm out. Like, okay. He was out for the weekend, right?
5 points, 8 assists, 6 rebounds, and 2 turnovers. We win the game. That's how it is.
I see folks like, oh man, that's old folks stuff. I'm like, damn, am I getting old? Like he watched.
I'm damn near a gangster in real life, you know what I'm saying? But no.
Can't complain, you know. I wish I could show you all views, but it's dark out here.
Appreciate you joining us from Florida, though.
Yeah, why not, man? Like,
Did you get to see Aliana?
no.
Oh no.
No, I'm gonna plan on trying to see her, man. It was like coincidence too. So I'm down here, and her grandmother texts me out of the random, and she's like, "Hey," she's like, "You see, baby girl?" And she sends me these pictures of her, and the kid's gotten tall. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, compared to last time I saw her in person, like she's like a whole nother. She looks like a little woman. You know what I'm saying? So I guess she had her father-daughter dance. So sent me a picture of her and her pop going. So like, you know, I mean, if you would have asked me to come down, I'm pretty sure I could have got away for a day or two just to come down and take her to that dance. You know what I'm saying? But it's one of them don't ask, don't tell, like, scenario. So I was gonna tell her I was down here too, but then after getting that, I kind of got in my ways and I was just like, you know what? I come down here in another month, I'll say something about another month, but I let this one slide. You know what I'm saying?
Well, what do you mean letting it say what in another month though?
Well, I mean, like, cause like for instance, I was down here from Saturday to tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, you know, she hit me up and I'm like, well, what's Aliana doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, is she with you or like where's she at? It took her like 4 hours to hit me back, and she finally hit me back. And my whole thing was, if she would hit me back, I'd be like, look, I'm in town, let's have dinner or something, you know? But when people don't do what they're supposed to do, in my opinion, if it takes you too long, it's either you don't really want to be genuine with it or you're busy. And I'm fine with somebody being busy. So I was just like, look, I'll just hit them up next time I come down and make sure I give them a week or two notice instead of just being in town and saying something, you know? So.
Yeah.
Well,
did you get one? Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say it's rough. I can't speak from that experience or anything, but I know it's got to be tough to be so close and so far away.
Yeah. It was like, bro, like literally we went to UTC, and UTC is like a mall. It's a big mall down here. And literally it's like 5 minutes from now. And I'm just like, I already had talked to her grandmother, and she's like, oh, she's outside playing on her bike. She's like, you can call her later. And I'm like, okay. But then I'm like, you know, Monday kid has school. So I'm like, she's not really going to be able to do nothing, you know? So I'm like, I'll just wait until it's summertime, or I'll wait till spring break. I know she won't have school. If there's an excuse, it is what it is, you know? At least you try. So, but I mean, I'm pretty sure they come to Maryland all the time and don't tell me. You know what I'm saying? All the time. I have to hear it from everybody else. So this is like my first time coming down here and not saying nothing to nobody.
Do you guys talk otherwise?
Me and my daughter, or like me and my daughter, it depends on if she wants something. You know, let me keep it real. Like she wanted an Apple Watch for her birthday, right? So she called me every day, literally trying to get an Apple Watch. When she got the Apple Watch, I might have heard from her like 3 or 4 times. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and I'm that type of dad where I'm like, look, if you want to call me, I'll pay your cell phone bill. Like you can call me whenever you want, but I'm not going to make you feel like you're obligated to call me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So she's old enough. She got a cell phone, which I pay for. She can call me. If she don't call me, I don't know what more to tell you. Like I always make time for you. Whenever the phone rings, I pick it up. I talk to you. I don't. Only other thing I can do is call her, and I call her here and there, but it's just always. She's a kid, so it's, you know what I'm saying? It's always an excuse. It's always something. But I feel like when she gets older, things will change. Because now, Ayla, you know, she's 15. She calls me every day. I'm like, hey, I'm tired. Like, can I call you tomorrow? Oh, just call me back in an hour. Just call me back. I know you're busy, but just call me back. Like, it's always call me back. Like, hopefully one day she gets to that point. You know?
Yeah. I mean, give it time. It's always gonna be
Always
your
can.
daughter.
Right. And that's my biggest thing is like, I mean, and you know, some people were like, oh, you're just trying to make it to 18. I'm like, yeah, I really want to make it to 18 because then I can make them understand, like, hey, look, this is why I didn't push things, or this is why I just stood there and did what I had to do. At the end of the day, I still take care of my kids. I'm just not hands-on because I'm not an argumentative dude. So it's like, it's easier for me to get them to 18 and then be like, look, you want to come live with me for a year when you're 18, 19? I'm cool with that. That way you can see who I am, learn me, like, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But until then, you can think whatever your mom wants you to think. I'm perfectly fine with it. I'll be the bad dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know what I do for them. I know how much it costs. I know how much I feel like, you know, like not being a parent because of not being there, you know what I'm saying? But it's something you just do. You man up, take care of your responsibility. I could be like a million of these dudes out there who don't say nothing, you know what I'm saying? But that's not me. So do what you can do. You'll get your day, you know what I'm saying, in the sun eventually.
I mean, like you said, they're getting to that age too. You know, you start figuring things out and really want to know exactly what's going on, and you start seeing things from a different perspective, you know. So yeah, just give it
Right.
time. Yeah. How's Florida otherwise, man?
I know, you know, like so the main reason of this Florida trip was so me and Kim like to travel. You know what I'm saying? So it's like one of the things is just because we have my niece and my nephew, I don't want us to stop being us. You know what I'm saying? Like what brought me and Kim together was, hey, at the blink of an eye, we could leave town. You get what I'm saying? So I'm like, I still want to be able to do that, but the difference is now it's like I got two little people who need to go with me. Not a big deal. But if they don't know how to act right, it's a big deal. You get what I'm saying? So this trip was like a quick trip. Like, let's get to Florida, see how they act. They act good. You know, we can do a week, we can do 2 weeks, or we can go to Disney, or. But it's pretty much an interview process for them too. And let me just say this: they don't know how to do interviews. I'm not sure if they're good candidates. Like, I'm still out on them. You know what I'm saying? So, but they gonna get a second interview. Let me put it like that.
What was the sticking point? What was the sticking point? Where'd they slip up?
They're just so so Braxton's a follower. You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with that. Like he's his own person to an extent. You know what I'm saying? But he follows. He idolizes his sister, and she doesn't understand that yet. You see what I'm saying? She just
Yeah.
thinks he does what she does because he's small. But I try to make her understand, like, yo, when y'all are both sitting at the table and you not eating, he's not eating because he wants to be like you. It's not because he's not hungry, because he wants to be like you. So one night this week, you know, it was just me and Braxton eat, and guess who ate all his food? Braxton did. You know what I'm saying? Because there's no distraction. He ate all his food and asked for more. You know what I'm saying? Like great night. But like I try to make her understand, like, yo, he follows things you do because you're his you're his little son right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, so he looks at you for guidance and stuff. And you might see it, but we see it. So then she's like, well, you're being harder on me. I'm not being harder on you. I'm just trying to make you understand, like, you can't screw up because he sees that and then he thinks it's okay. You know what I'm saying? It's a fact. It's a fact.
Stop.
Yeah, like right. Like I'm not being hard on you, but yo, like literally, you fucking up. And I'm like, you know, it's like, huh?
That gets me in trouble a lot too.
Yes, and you know it because you got too close to age too, and it's just one of them things. Like you remember growing up with Philip, right? You didn't really fuck up that much. You get what I'm saying? Like, did you?
No, I got a lot of trouble because of him.
At least you're honest. At least you're honest. But like,
I look back at
yeah, I look back at me and Blake, and I'm like, yeah, I don't remember. I mean, through the course of 18 years, yeah, we got into trouble, but these we get in trouble every day. Like, it's an everyday occurrence. It's like literally, I don't even have no more tickets in my book. I can't write no more.
Oh
like,
God.
But it's good times. You know what I'm saying? It's good times. Like I wouldn't trade them for the world. You know what I'm saying? I don't tell them that though. I'm like, I'm gonna leave you at the I'm gonna leave you at the store, yeah. So hopefully somebody else come pick y'all up.
What's up, fellas?
Nah,
My bad.
good.
Did you had to bring out the belt, Brandon?
What's up, man? What's up, baby?
What's going on? Did you have to bring out the belt? What happened? I caught the
Man, shit. The belt don't go away. Like I'm joking.
Boy, booty time.
I know, right? Everybody's getting that shot of tag, you know what I'm saying? Nah, I wish. It's you know, it's also different when they're not your kids. Like I can flex my chest all day long, but they know they like that's my uncle. He not gonna fuck me up. Like you know what I'm saying? Like they know, and I'm like looking at them like I'm crazy because I'm like, should I? Like I start questioning myself like, should I? And Braxton he's getting to that age where like he's scared a little bit, but he's not. Like you know what I'm saying? I think he just acts scared. Just to help me out throughout the day. You know what I'm saying? Like I look at him and he automatically starts blinking funny. Like he's like yeah, you know. But no, but they good kids, especially when they separated. When they're separated and I have just one, like if I had the girl or I had the boy by themselves, they're totally different people. Like I'm happy. Like I'm like, yo, Braxton, chill out when we lay on the bed. We good. Like eat dinner. We good. You get them together. It's just like, yo, whose kids are y'all? Like we can't be blood because y'all treat me like shit right now. Like y'all ain't listening. My girl's ready to leave me because y'all ain't listening.
Oh my God.
Like, I don't want to, like, they all man. No, they good. They good. They good.
No, this is the kind of stuff that they're not gonna forget, man. This is like you like you said, you trusted them to do stuff like this and carry luggage and go through airports and all that kind of stuff. Like it's something that they'll get used to and they'll get better at every time they do it. They've done it. After this,
Bro, look, we had to get up at like 4:00 in the morning, right? So we get up, it's 4:00 in the morning, but like driving to the airport. Everybody's happy in the car, you know. Everybody's like, "Ooh, I can't wait." Everybody's excited. You know, Kim's driving. We get down there, we get to the parking garage. We get out of the car. Everybody gets there. I see a bus coming. Did you know how, like, when you park long term, the bus got to pick you up, take you to the airport, okay? I see one coming. I'm like, Kim, look, why don't you go down there and grab that one? So her and Brinley start going down to grab that. Braxton got his flip-flops on, okay? And he has the left foot flip-flop on the right foot. He got the wrong feet, okay? Now, I don't know if y'all ever seen a 5-year-old put the flip-flops on the wrong feet. He almost runs in a circle. You get what I'm saying? Like, he can't, like, he's running left foot, it's out. It's real bad. So he's trying to run for this bus, and he can't get nowhere. So he, like, wants to sit down to take them off. And I'm like, bro, you can't sit down. The ground's wet. Like, come on. So we missed that bus. So then there's a second bus. So the other bus is coming the other direction. So I like grab his suitcase and just start hauling for the bus. Kim's running. She got Braxton, who's like barefoot. He's running with his sandals in his hand. It was just once we got there though, it was good. But it was just like I'm not used to that. I'm used to put my backpack on. I could be 5 minutes early. That's all I need. You get what I'm saying? And I know I'm gonna make my flight. But they were pushing, man. They were definitely pushing.
I was gonna ask you, man. You look like you're in a hotel room. Where you at?
Yeah. We in Tampa, right in Tampa Bay. Like literally,
What
like
you doing
the
down
airport. Just chilling, man. She has some friends down here, so visit some friends. Try to make a quick trip out of it. Just try to see how the kids will act. You know, see if they can get acclimated enough to actually go on a real trip. So we were hoping the weather would be better too, but the weather's actually been cold here. But it's better than being home. Yeah, it's only been like literally like 55, 56.
Oh
Cold.
man.
Cold, bro. But it's still like warmer than being home. You get what I'm saying? So I'm not complaining at all.
Right.
Today was real sunny, like gorgeous today, but still like 60 degrees. But,
How long you down there for?
we got down here Saturday. Just a little short trip, Saturday to Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
So, like the tickets was like what were they? Where did we are? It was like 60 a round trip or something like that. We were like, yeah, might as well like do it while it's cheap. Then we couldn't say, hey, look, if you learn a lesson and it's horrible, at least it was a cheap trip.
Oh, man.
That's cool, man. That's
What's
all
going
right.
on, fellas, man? Miss y'all, man. I know it's been a couple weeks since I've been on. Just chatted with y'all. How's that
It's you
Doing
been?
good,
too,
man.
man. I know you've been going through some things, man. Had COVID and everything. How you feeling?
Boy, yes. Lord was testing me, but you know, made it to the other side. Yeah, I'm feeling good now. Everybody's good. Got back in the gym this morning. Jackie went to the gym too, so it's we're on the up and up. Back at it now. Trying to make some changes. You know, did a lot of reflecting over the last couple of weeks. You know, tomorrow's never promised, so understanding that and realizing you gotta cherish each moment you can, every day you can. Lost my dog, man. That was tough too. So, but it's all good. We back, man. We back. That's what Stxhes is for, man.
Exactly.
Oh,
Yeah. Everybody been good. Gene getting on? Is he on?
I don't know if Ken's gonna make it. I think he was more worried about trying to get on tomorrow.
Oh yeah, and the one message he said he could do Sunday, but he couldn't do Monday. I think one or the other.
So then maybe
We
that's
had
what
to
too.
narrow it down and lock it in.
Yeah,
No,
I'm good for whatever. As long as I have 24-hour notice, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah, Gene said. Wait, I don't even know
He
where did
said he could jump on tonight. It was at 4:38.
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, it was yesterday. He
said
couldn't. We'll see. It's all good either way.
so it was Monday he couldn't do. Yeah, if he comes through, he comes through. Yeah.
Yeah. We just
I mean,
So we
today's
good on
production anyway.
Mondays
So,
and Thursdays?
you know, just sticking it.
Is that the final answer?
Thinking. Whatever works for y'all, man.
I thought it was the final answer, but yeah, I mean, I'll make it work. It's Jackie's in bed she was in bed at 7:00 tonight, so just let me know whatever works, and we can do it.
7:00.
She's always.
What time did you get up?
She's up at like 5, probably something like that. But she's typically in bed like maybe 8, but she could be in bed at 7 at all times.
Boy, who you telling? Sometimes I'm like, ooh, sun's still up? Yeah, I'm about to jump in the bed now before we go down. Nah, man. Y'all had that street light curfew?
What, growing up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think we did.
Well, I
That's
don't
what
know.
because if we
I
we
did
used
for
to
a
go up
while.
to we go up to West Middle and stuff like that, but I usually went home when my neighbor's mom would whistle for him to come in for dinner. That was usually my cue, but yeah, we didn't we didn't really have a rule like that. Looking back on it, where we grew up, we probably should have.
On the next episode, Stxhes.
Yeah, I feel you.
Stxhes after dark.
I mean, it was Westminster, but like you drive through there now, and it's there's still remnants of. It was kind of hood. It was a lot of
Kinda.
drugs and all kinds of stuff in the area. But we weren't really. I don't know. We weren't really affected by it. We didn't really hang out with any of those type of folk or anything like that. I don't know. I'm thinking now, we were out late most of the time. If we were
I
out,
mean, but if you sit back and you really think about it, it's probably bad. But it's just the fact that just the way you guys were raised, you didn't even see it. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like going into a drugstore and they sell donuts, but everybody knows it's a drugstore, but you got it. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much was our upbringing. Me growing up, man, I never got in trouble, but everybody around me did.
Yeah.
All my friends had a record. I didn't. You know what I'm saying? But it was cool though. Your parents be like, I don't want you to hang out with Johnny, but you knew Johnny had a rap sheet longer than anybody. You still hung out with him. You never got crossed up or you never got hemmed up with no biggie. Oh. Yeah, but for me, it was the street lights at the basketball court. When the street lights went out of the basketball court, I had 20 minutes to get home. If I wasn't home, boy, I wasn't gonna see the next street light.
Remember them days.
Yeah.
And then spring forward, you get an extra hour outside.
Yeah.
Oh shoot.
I mean, it would be 8 o'clock, 8:30, whatever, and it's still light out.
Yeah.
You winning.
Yeah. I mean, that's before, you look back on it, how we were raised just by trust. We didn't have cell phones, didn't have, devices to track you and stuff like that per se. But yeah, parents trusted their kids. Now it's texting them, where you at? I don't know. It's crazy how much we've seen just in our lifetime. So talking to the older folks that, were back before color television, it's crazy to hear stories like that. And one day, we're gonna look back on it, oh yeah, pulling up in a flying car, but back in 2022, you had electric vehicles that plugged in. It's boy, what a time. And now technology is, the growth of technology is exponential versus incremental back in the day or years ago. 3 years from now, we're gonna be talking on each other on holograms or on the Oculus or whatever, imagine having this in the metaverse.
Your sunglasses. It'll just be sunglasses. You just throw them on.
Yeah, no, definitely right.
Yeah, Brandon gonna have them sunglasses in that Batmobile, yeah.
Right.
Coffee maker on.
Right. You know what? The funny thing is, in 3 years, that car might be obsolete. You might not be able to drive it because it's gas powered. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, that's
everybody
the
switched
push.
over electric.
Yeah, when you start, they start producing pickup trucks as electric, and everybody's going to be making that move or
The
made
messed
that
up
move.
part is, I don't know if y'all have looked at any of those pickup trucks. They look nice. They look real nice. They look so dope. I'm like, man, I'm happy. Look, I've never been a pickup truck guy, but I'm just I might have to get one of these because they look nice, man.
Mm-hmm.
Might have to pick up a hobby where I just haul shit. Just to justify it.
Yeah. Nah, I'm in the same boat, man. I'm like, man, I need to get a pickup truck. I'm like, for what? But nah, it's just that's a dope look.
Yeah, man, it's definitely tough.
I need a pickup truck because I need a pickup truck these days. Y'all talking about looking nice. I just need a truck. So I'm at that age and I'm looking around the house. I'm like, man, it'd be nice if I just I could take that to the dump right now, but instead it's just got to go to the garage like everything else. I just don't want to have it because then everybody's got something for you to do. The second you get a pickup truck, everybody's got something for you to do.
But that's what my dad said. He said, "You have a pickup truck, man. You'll never run out of ways to make money. You can always make money with a pickup truck."
Oh, that's fact.
No, it's crazy that when you see like the kids now posting videos, like the one was Fat Man Scoop, and it was talking about like how DJs used to just take over the whole song, and it's like all these kids like, oh, that's crazy. I'm like, they really think this is like the 70s when that song came out. Right? Like stuff has changed. So like I do think that we're probably going to benefit the most from when we were born though. Like we got to see so many changes in like technology is definitely is going to be exponential at this point moving forward, but it's like we saw like caveman type technology in comparison to what today is, and be able to actually like appreciate it. Like I'm about to have a kid that's gonna grow up and like what's a handheld system and all that stuff. Like you're just gonna put on the glasses and just go to work. Like I ain't even gonna talk to him. It's crazy, man. Like I was thinking we used to sit down in the basement and listen to Uncle Nat's 8-track down in the basement on his waterbed. Like, yeah. When the last time you seen a waterbed in real life?
Yeah, man. He ain't lying.
Now you got the beds that come in boxes.
Mm-hmm. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Which I must say, that's one thing y'all got to invest in if you haven't is a good mattress. When you think about it, you spend at least a third of your life in bed. Now I get what LeBron was saying when, you know, he spends $1 million on his body each year. So I'm not quite there just yet, but I understand the concept and the premise behind it. Health as well.
We got two. Look, Jackie, that was her thing. Like we had like a divot in our mattress because we got two big pit bulls sleeping in bed with us every night, and they wanted to dig into it one time, and it didn't affect my sleeping, but it was on. So she was like, "We got to get a mattress." I was like, "I mean, if you want, I just really don't want to throw thousands of dollars into a mattress with pit bulls sleeping on it with me." And I know we ain't gonna tell them to sleep in a cage or something like that or on the floor at this point. I'm like, all right, well, I guess we're gonna have to. I just even the couches and everything. I'm like, we got big dogs, man. I got my couches from like stress-free yard sale type stuff, bro. I'm just gonna get it and get something new. I need to do the floors and everything, bro. The mattresses are expensive. I didn't realize how expensive mattresses are, but yeah, it is an investment though. You're spending some time in it. Do you get like the purple mattress or something, or you got the one of the boxes?
Yeah, Casper, I think it was. But or 8, something, one of those. It definitely helped. But I read somewhere like mattress store. You ever wonder like you go through like a shopping center and just see like a mattress store and like nobody's ever in the mattress store, but they're always open?
Yeah.
Apparently, like the mattress game is crazy. Like the markups on the mattresses are like 98% or something like that in terms of cost of production to what they sell for. Something, or no, I think those numbers will be off, but something crazy. It'd be like 198% or something. But
like when we went mattress shopping, literally it was us and one other couple in the whole store. This huge store. And neither one of us were walking out with a mattress that day. It was literally like you can just go try it out and then, all right, well, let's look it up online and see what. Like they gotta be drug funds.
Money laundering.
Yeah.
But I think like Dueno said, they make their money off literally. If they can sell one mattress a week, they can keep the doors open.
Yeah,
because they get
something crazy.
Man, you talking about literally? I bet you any man money they buy the mattresses for a couple $100 and they sell it for $1,000. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So like the profit margin. I mean, you're making more than a used car. A used car usually, even a new car nowadays, the dealerships are making like $500-600 off a car. Mm-hmm. But off a mattress, you making $1,000 off it? Like, come on.
Mm-hmm.
You only got to sell one or two. You only got one dude working with you. Like, how many times you go to the same mattress shop and see a different employee? It's always the same.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta tell him, be like, bro, you remember I told you I was gonna come back? My girl's with me this time. Don't help me. Don't help me.
What up,
I see
G?
Gene pop in.
What up, family?
What's up?
Chilling, man. Parenthood. You know,
Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you.
What you
I'm
call it?
tired, my brother.
Yeah, man. I'm exhausted, bro. I'm exhausted, but we
It's
still
only
standing,
Monday,
fam.
baby.
I know,
feel
bro. You know.
Got that fire Monday, boy.
Yeah. After this, I'm gonna try to, So little man's, shoot. Hopefully he's good for the night, and then after this, I'll get some rest and get back at it tomorrow, man. You still on vacation? What'd you say, Glenn?
I was gonna say, it looked like you switched up your studio location.
Yeah, well, you know what? I didn't. No, I didn't actually do. I actually took down the poster, like the canvas, and then I'm actually trying to do something different with it. Sometimes I get on YouTube and I'll see them do the the shades. You were doing that for a little bit, right? Weren't you feel like you kind of do the dark setting and then you do a little light in the background or something like that, or so. So it's a work in progress. I just took everything, I stripped everything down, and I said, all right, I'm gonna do it over. So I got some things in the cart, ready ready to hit purchase on, so I could. But I got time now, so yeah. But yeah, man. Brandon, you still in Florida? Is that where you are, Florida?
Yeah, we still here till tomorrow.
Okay.
Tomorrow, then back to reality, man. Back to the grind.
Yeah. How's it been?
I'm just thinking good, man. I can't complain. I'll tell you, man, I'm blessed to have Kim. Like, if I didn't have Kim,
She in the room?
Yeah, she in the room.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Shout out Kim.
Shout out Kim, right? He turned the camera off to that
No, I wasn't like I turned it off. It looked like I turned it off.
Hey, go in the car so they can see.
So not like so. I mean, Gene, she has friends down here, so we met up with some of her friends that live down here. It's been cool. Everybody's been great. They loved my niece, my nephew, the bits and pieces that they've seen.
Yeah.
It's been good. You know what I'm saying? A little
God
R&R,
bless.
a little relaxation.
Yeah, that's cool, man. And how's it been with vacationing with the kids?
It's definitely different. It's definitely different. So, it was great to do this so we could see like where the kids are on the growth level, because even from getting them that first couple weeks to now, they've grown so much, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
On like a respect level and just to abiding by what me and Kim do, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because everybody parents different, But we're gonna have to redo this. We're gonna have to take them on an interview part 2. Because this one definitely ain't getting them out of the country or anything. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's no way. There's no way. Like, I'm gonna have to find me a babysitter for a week so we can go to Cancun.
So it's good, but it ain't that good.
No, yeah. It's okay. So we're gonna say it's okay.
Yeah. Hey, we'll take okay for sure.
I'll take okay.
Yeah, to start.
I didn't kill nobody. I'm not in jail, so it wasn't that bad.
How you commit murder on vacation?
Look, this is what's real funny, right? So our hotel room, like there's a window ledge right there, and there's like I can look out it and there's a pool, but it looks like there's a ledge like on the window. And I had my hands up on the wall and I had one leg up on the ledge, and Kim's like, don't do it. I'm like, baby, I'm not ready to. I'm about to jump.
Oh my gosh, man! Nah, you ain't take full delivery of the. What you nickname the Stingray, by the way?
I don't even know yet, man. Like, I haven't even named her yet. Like,
yeah,
I be coming up with like disrespectful names. Like, and a car like that, you can't even have a disrespectful name. You gotta have like a real good name.
So
you can't call that name like Betsy or like you can't call it you can't call it some hood name. Like, it has to be a good name. Like,
yeah.
Like, you should switch it up on them though and have like some classic like Bertha. Suzanne,
like Eleanor or something.
Yeah,
Eleanor. That's a classic.
she might be called Betty White. I don't know, man. Like,
Hey, there you go.
But didn't you say you're gonna wrap her in all black?
nah, right now, yo, I gotta keep it the way she is. Like, so she getting ceramic coated at the end of the week.
Nice.
Hopefully that goes well.
Yeah.
Like everybody telling me don't do it, but I'm like, you gotta protect it. So,
Dude,
I've
you
been
could
doing
put it
my homework.
You could put the clear. You don't want to do the clear coat type of.
You saying the clear bra?
Yeah, no, even that, or it's like the it's like a clear coat for it. It's like a protector for the paint.
That's called ceramic coating.
It's ceramic coating. Yeah, it
Yeah,
lasts like
yeah.
3-4 years. Yeah.
Right. So the package I'm getting is like a 8-year package, but it would probably only last like 5. You know what I'm saying?
That's all right.
I'm cool with that. So, but the thing is, though, you want to find somebody who's running a special one, because like let's say like my bad, party foul. Nah, like let's say they running a special, like usually they do like 50% off. So like let's say you find it for like $800-900, that's $600, $500. Like, but I mean sometimes it's like some of these dudes is paying $3,000 to get their car ceramic.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. Oh yeah, absolutely.
That ain't me. No,
yeah,
sir.
It's ridiculous. No, I hear you.
You know how many times I can wash my car for $3,000?
Yeah.
But the messed up part is, I don't know if any of y'all ever try to get a quote to get your car painted. You literally, if you just one day when you free, just go take it to a paint shop.
It's like the same as like.
It's the same as buying a new car. Like they'll be like, "Yo, $10,000." You're like,
yeah, they're ridiculous. Like I've looked into getting like the vinyl wraps or whatever. You know what I mean? Like and they want like $5,000, $5-6,000. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like,
crazy.
It's crazy.
And then you see these dudes on YouTube who get their car wrapped like every 2 weeks, and it's like, how do you have money to do that at $5,000 a pop? Like, I got it.
Nah, but she looked good the way she is though. But like, with the white, you know what I mean, the two-tone interior, that joint, that joint's sexy, bro.
She do look classic.
So hold on, my biggest question is, did you figure out if you're gonna be able to garage her, or you're gonna just put it in front of the crib?
So I'm gonna keep her at my boy's house. You know what I'm saying, in the garage.
Yeah.
So until I figure out if I'm not even sure if she can walk up my damn driveway. So
but that's what I'm saying, bro. Like even if you have to pay a little extra chips, that's not too pricey to get him to. I mean, it's a little work. I mean, I don't know. You want like you said, you'll have to just figure some things out.
I mean, look, if I try to like drive it into the driveway and want to scratch, I gotta have somebody come fix the driveway. It's that simple.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I don't have time to be scratching it every single time.
Nah.
Yeah, tire tracks through the grass.
Right. Or like I said, in the backyard, carport. Yeah. Like I mean, I could set out some boards. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, I'm just too old for that. Like I'd rather work. I'd rather work a couple weekends and keep it where it's at in the garage for like a month. Work some extra overtime, and then have Uncle Nat come up and redo.
I'm saying
redo my concrete, like
bro.
It might take 6 months for him to do it, but it'll get done. You know what I'm saying? 6 months and a couple 6-packs, we'll get it done.
Oh man, that would be.
Didn't you have a vet before?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you still have it or no?
No, I got rid of them. I had two.
You done had a few now.
Yeah, I've had a few.
What is your third one?
Yeah, this is my third. It's addiction. It's definitely addiction.
What's the fastest?
It depends on what you use it for. Like it depends on what you use.
Grocery shopping.
I use it for look, bro. Look, when I leave the house, whatever I can fit in that car, dog. It could be a 2x4x15. Like I'll be the only dude on the street with it running through the center of my car. Like, if I'm out, I'll try to bring home a 60-inch TV in that mug.
Hanging up.
Right. Talking like Philip, I need a truck. Oh well.
Oh man. Dude, I'll never forget fitting. I was up in Westman. I remember I wanted a big screen TV. I went and bought the 65-inch TV. and this plasma joint, super heavy, dumb heavy, like because it's glass, right? And so I get the joint. I go to the big screen store that they have in Westminster. At that time, I'm driving a Honda Accord. I'm driving my 2010 Accord. I go in that, it's me and wifey. We go in, and they're like, yeah, it don't look like it's gonna fit the Accord, so maybe you just come back and take delivery another day. I want that joint so bad. I'm like, nah, I'm leaving with it. They're like, well, it's not gonna fit. I'm like, no, trust me, I'm gonna make it fit. And then they're looking at like, sure, I'm like, look, we're gonna work this out. We're gonna figure out. We're gonna make it fit. Yeah, I don't know how I did it, but I fit that 65-inch plasma TV into my Accord, bro. I'll never forget, I could have risked the whole joint. He's like, if you take and you break it, that there's no warranty that covers that, because so I'm like, yo, look, I'm gonna make it work. I'm bringing it. So you imagine a 65-inch plasma TV in a Honda Accord, bro. Makes no sense. I'm driving like this home, but I'm like, yo, this is making it home. We going home. Yeah.
And that's when butterfly doors were invented.
For real,
I'm getting this home.
I got it home too, bro. I was so yeah, bro. But yeah, when you have this Corvette, bro, I'm not gonna be too surprised. Man, you're gonna be like, oh, we had a milk, no problem. Like,
that's right. Right. I'm gonna go all the way to the other side of town to get a gallon too. You know what I'm saying? Longest. Like he was going 8 hours for a cup of sugar. Like, yeah.
Supply chain.
Right. I could have gone right to the neighbor's house, but nah.
Oh man. No, that's that'll be nice, bro. That'll be nice. So did y'all already touch on this Kyler Murray joint that y'all talked about earlier?
I was gonna jump into it.
Nah, that's what Don rolled out. He knew it was coming.
I don't want to talk about it. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
I didn't click on the news. So what happened, Dwayne? What was it, like on Twitter or something?
Yeah, on Twitter, I think Darren Rovell or somebody posted that Kyler Murray deleted everything Arizona off of his, I think, Instagram page or something.
Yeah.
And like the only thing he left on there was a picture with I think Mike Evans, and he was saying, I love to catch a football from the god or something along those lines. But I don't know. I mean, Tampa needs a quarterback, so I don't know. Or he's gonna go play baseball, but they're locked out. So
they're trying to seem like NBA players now, dictating where they want to go.
It's a lot of that. You think his contract? Like, what you think is going on with him?
I mean, he's probably still on his rookie deal, isn't
he? Yeah, I would assume he is.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Third year.
But I don't know if I don't know how long the rookie deals go. Because with him being that high of a draft pick and everything, I know he got paid a little more than others, but I'm sure his deal, he probably has one more year left. And Tampa's got a big need and a bunch of bad contracts. So I'm sure they could probably work out a trade there. There's some big names.
There you go. I think Hopkins is gone too.
Right, that's what I was about to say, yeah. Yeah, it's going to be a meltdown if he leaves.
That's a
lot of guys there.
See, now it's like if he leaves, Arizona gets the draft pick that they had from a good season. So you ain't getting a quarterback. It's a replacement. Yeah. But, I mean, it's Arizona. I didn't even know who Mike McDaniels was until.
So look, since you brought that up, right? So Mike McDaniels, okay, he's never had a head job as a coach ever. Not high school, not college, ever. First offensive coordinator job he got was January of this year. You know what I'm saying? As the 49ers offensive coordinator. Other than that, he's always been the offensive coordinator's sidekick. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the sidekick, like the running back coach or the wide receiver coach, but he's never been a true coach. I'm not knocking anybody who is in that position. You get what I'm saying? But to become a head coach, usually you work your way up the ladder, which is perfectly fine. Look, he's been in the league for 15 years. But I feel like we're pulling. Like, it's kind of like it's kind of like we're reaching for we got one. Love, guaranteed. He looks like he was in The Wire, so he's black. Like no ifs, ands, or buts. Like you know what I'm saying? But you know what? He's also had a head job before. Because don't you remember he was the with the Bears?
Mm-hmm.
Head coach for the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
But this is what frustrates me. Now look, they gave the job to McDaniels, right? They couldn't have gave the job to Leftwich, to Brian Leftwich from.
Has he been? I haven't even heard him interviewing for spot. Like, is he even a candidate for a home head coach?
He was supposed to be a candidate for Miami. He's supposed to be a candidate for the Bears. He's supposed to be a candidate also for what's the other spot? Denver. Like because like think about it. He won a Super Bowl ring being the offensive coordinator for the Buccaneers.
But there's an asterisk right there, right? So what did they do before Tom?
No, I agree. I mean, look, the asterisk was.
Regardless of race and things like that.
So look, let's say before Tom. Okay, so before Tom, they had James Winston, who threw the most touchdowns, but he also threw the most interceptions.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So I mean, it's a double-bladed sword. Okay, all right, they got Tom Brady. Their offense becomes the number one ranked offense. I mean, we can go to McDaniels and say, what did he do? Okay, all right, he had Debo, which was a phenomenal player, but he would have did that with any offensive coordinator. I hate to say it.
Well, you got to, I didn't know even this guy was in the running for any head coaching, and so I was caught by surprise. But
yeah,
to be able to recognize that talent and understand how he would fit in that offense. But if you look at the quarterback situation, I mean, you talk to anybody who talks football, they wouldn't say Garoppolo's in the top 25 quarterbacks.
Right.
And to go to the NFC Championship 2 out of the last 3 years or something like that. Or actually, no, Super Bowl 2, because I was at that one. Super Bowl against the Chiefs, they lost that, and then to go to the NFC Championship again this year. Looking at the talent with all the injuries they had too.
But that's not him though. You see what I'm saying? He wasn't their offensive coordinator 2 years in a row. His offensive coordinator was just this January. So to me, you riding the coattails of somebody who got them to the NFC Championship game last year anyway. It'd be one thing if he went to a team like the Jacksonville Jaguars and brought them up to where they were a playoff team. But you already riding the coattails. So if we're gonna knock Brian Leftwich because you know what I'm saying, he's at Tampa Bay and he got Tom Brady, we can't give kudos to somebody who just made it to the NFC Championship game when they did that just 2 years ago.
Right.
With the same squad.
But I'm saying, so with the tie-in not having the job, like Shanahan and McVay, they were both from the Washington coaching tree. They didn't have head coaching jobs before then. So it's the new wave of the coaches now are the X's and the O's, are the analytics versus, the trenches. I mean, that's still involved too, but it's a different dynamic of it's like the stock market. Now you're talking about the retail traders and things like that instead of, the big hedge fund guys.
Right. Yeah.
No, I'm not knocking Byron by no means. I think he deserves an opportunity. I think there's a few folks that deserve an opportunity, but we'll see what happens with Flores and this whole thing, how it pans out. He understands he took it for the team, but I think it's something that needed to happen. Yeah. And I think we'll see some more change. I mean, it's kind of crazy that, I don't know if it's coincidental, but that happens last week. And then all of a sudden we have 2 minority coaches.
Right.
I just don't see both of them. If that would have never came out last week, we would only be getting one hired this week. That's what I'm getting at. Definitely. I feel like we got 2, and the second guy who got hired really isn't, in my opinion, in my own order. Don't get me wrong, he is on paperwork. But to me, the dude's been following Shanahan wherever he goes. He was at Washington. He was at 49ers. He was also, he just, you know what I'm saying? He's like Shanahan's right-hand dude. Shanahan brought him to 49ers and then promoted him halfway through the season. You don't usually get promoted like that from a wide receiver coach to offensive coordinator. That's not, especially mid-season. I don't know. I just feel like we're getting thrown bones.
What's
it's
his
like hush money.
Yeah.
So he's half black.
His dad's black
Okay.
and his mom's white. I think I literally just looked him up like an hour ago when we were talking about it. But like his dad's black, his mom's white, but they separated and I think she like remarried a white dude. So it came into question afterwards. But I'm like, as I said in like the message, I'm like, well, he's still a minority. If we have Kaepernick,
If you break it down, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because it's always like that situation where he's not white. He ain't gonna get claimed by white. It's like if you're not white, you're always a minority. It doesn't really matter what else color it is, but it's like for him, I don't know, because everything that I've seen is like everybody looked at him as like the prodigy kid sitting next to Shanahan, and everything Shanahan does, they're still giving him credit and everything like that. So, and then he was like the run game coordinator, and they had a great running game, and then you get into the offensive coordinator. I don't get the move to keep getting like 30-year-old dudes to. I think he's like 38 years old. I don't get it, but if they connect with the players, that's really what it comes down to. Appearance-wise, I don't know if he does connect with the players. He reminds me of someone that would be like the numbers type of dude, but everybody's saying his personality and all this stuff. So who knows? But if he gets over the hump with Miami, it's kind of messed up because Brian Flores led him to the point that they're a 500 football team already. So it's not like he's just getting a bunch of random players and he's going to be like the problem solver. Nah, I mean, he's definitely a minority. I just don't. I did not know that until you said something. I did not know that he was a minority until you said something. Because his first picture didn't look like that at all. They had a couple different lightings or something like that because he didn't look like that.
They were trying to make him look Latino. You know what I'm saying? They were trying to make him look like Riverboat Ron. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I definitely have to send a picture because I think people are just gonna assume he's his dark-skinned brown brother. You know what I'm saying? That's not the case.
No, definitely.
I feel like that's the thing. Is like me and Don, both of our parents are black, but everyone just assumes that we're mixed. And like I even told Don like a couple of weeks ago, he was like, "So you didn't break it down to people?" I was like, "No, like it was rare that like you know what I want you to know about me. Period." Right. I told my niece and nephew, Angela and Mila, they're like Mila said something. She was like, a girl at school asked me what I was. I was like, "You're Mila." That's all she needed to know. Like that, like when you don't fit into a certain category, you fit in every category. They don't know where to put you. So all of a sudden you fit in rooms that most people wouldn't fit into just because like I'm wearing a mask now too. So people really don't know what I am when I pull the mask off. You know, but it's like growing up, it was like you basically get racism from both sides. It's like I'd go to school every day to represent Black people, to go to school and say, I want to break every stereotype you guys think we're supposed to have. And then it comes out, well, you don't act Black. Or, well, you ain't really Black. But nah, I wake up every day and it's still Black. You know, can't. Like, I go out of my way to make sure that we break every stereotype. That's why I'm going to be number one in classes. Why I'm going to be the scholar athlete and artistic and everything. Like, but facing it on the other side, it's like I got like 8 other Black people in my whole class, and now I got to hear it from you too. like, and then you should be, and then it's like when you get later on in life, all of a sudden it's like the Black girls and everything come around when I get out of high school and come back from college, and all of a sudden it's like, y'all don't remember what happened back in the day with, okay, you know, it's cool.
Nah, that's because Drake came out around the time you.
Right, now we
Light
brothers, man, right?
Yeah. Chris Brown came around, like, all right. But even there you go. But Drake, so it's like if we ain't gonna accept Mike McDaniels, we gotta lose Drake, lose J. Cole, like just go straight down the list. And it's like all those dudes, whatever they Logic, whatever it is, they all represent the culture, and it's nice to see that blend happening now. Now you're gonna have kids that are coming up and you have I don't know what the next generation's separations are gonna be, because I think human beings, we separate each other regardless. But I don't know what that separation is gonna be with the next generation of kids, all looking tones, just different tones of tans and lights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool to see.
But it's also too one of them things is we don't know what he identifies as. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
Like
another.
that's what I'm getting at. So look, when you said you were trying to succeed and all that stuff because you were trying to pretty much hold it down for the black race, that's you in port saying you identify as black. You know what I'm saying? Like not the whole you don't have to wear a name tag saying I identify as black, but when you're overachieving and you're like, look, I'm trying to break the stereotypes of black people, you're identifying as black. If you're just going out here and you're just like, yo, I'm just trying to get ahead, but you're not saying, hey, what you're doing it for. I'm not saying you gotta wear a label saying I do it to make black people look better or anything. But if once somebody says, what do you identify as, and you just say, oh, I'm multicultural, you're not identifying as shit. You're just saying you're multi, which really just leaves it open for anybody. So anybody can claim you. White people can claim you, Mexicans can claim you, whoever wants to claim you can claim you. You know what I'm saying? So really, who are you? What race are you? Are you trying to make look better? What, mankind? Like, because I tell you right now, man, the main reason why I didn't get in trouble and stuff like that was because I got tired of the stereotype. Like, I take care of my kids because I get tired of the stereotype. Black people don't want to pay child support. Black people don't want to take care of the kids. Nigga, I pay extra in child support just so I'm not stereotyped. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the way it's just the way it is. Like, it's funny because it's like, man, growing up, I had Jewish friends, and my Jewish friends would tip extra hard because they didn't want to look like they were Jewish. You see what I'm saying? It was a bad name for the Jews. Like, but really, it's like, bro, you don't have to tip extra. Just if you feel like being cheap, be cheap. Don't let somebody, you know, like if somebody calls me lazy just because 500 years of somebody not wanting to work, who did free labor, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I have the right to be lazy or not. You see what I'm saying? So,
you ever feel like you have to carry like you said the tipping thing? Do you feel like you have to carry the weight of the whole culture every time you do something?
Hell yeah, all the time, man, all the time. And it depends on where you're at. You know what I'm saying? Like now, if I go to Baltimore City and I'm in the hoodest spot ever, I could give a fuck shit. Like, who cares? Like, like I don't feel. But if I'm in like Carroll County or we're in Westminster, yeah, I'm more polite. Like let's say somebody scratched my car, right? I have to be careful the way I react. You see what I'm saying? Because if I blow off the deep end, they're gonna think every black guy in America is gonna kill somebody because they scratched their Puma. You see what I'm saying?
I think like that every day. Every day I think like that.
Because you know what? You work with people in the banking industry, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So but every day you gotta hold it down for the black banker, right?
Yeah.
You can't be the angry black banker because that's what they automatically assume. Soon as they see you as the black banker, they're like, is there another teller that could help me? Like, never even give you the opportunity. So you have to be overly nice from the jump. It's like, it's sad to say it, but in that industry, you probably feel like you have to win their customer trust
100%.
before you even shake hands with them to get their name. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous.
It is. It's so funny. I'll get into a situation, and then people tell me, man, it's oh, you handle that so well, or they'll apply the way you handle it. I'm like, yeah, I have to do it. I have to be kinder than you would be. I want to say you too. You know what I mean? That's how I want to react. But like you said, you'll call the cops, or next thing you know, things get misunderstood, and there's a situation escalates. Certain things. So yeah, absolutely. So yeah, what you're saying is exactly that, man. It's all the time, and they'll always applaud me on how I handle it. But I'm like, I have to be more appropriate than you are. I have to dress a certain way, like you said, depending on where I'm at. Like I went to Towson Mall the other day, and I'm in there with everybody else, I'm oversized hoodie, my forces, this and that. But if I go to another part of town where it's a little bit more upper echelon, I'm dressing a little different, I'm behaving a little different. 100%. Yeah, like you said, I want to dress the same way every day, however I feel like, but I understand that I can't.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the choice. That's the choice you make to be better. I hate to say it.
Exactly. It is a choice. Yeah.
It's a choice.
Yeah. So you right. Welcome back, brother.
Yeah, welcome back, dog.
Now we were just talking about we were talking about the Mike McDaniel situation. We're talking about like the identity of race, and I asked everybody. I know you stepped out at the wrong time, though.
I thought we were saving that for the show.
No, we go. Hey, look, there's enough information we can hit that on the show.
Yeah,
we were just random talking, man. Like,
yeah, that's fine.
It's all good. No, it's really interesting stuff. Yeah. So where were you guys at with it? I heard you were talking. Gene was talking about dressing a certain way for certain settings or surrounding or whatnot. Where did that come from?
I had asked. I was like, "Is there like, do you walk around every day feeling like you have to like carry the weight of your race? Like, do you feel the burden when you go to the restaurant? Do you feel the need to tip more, or do you feel the need to talk differently to people? Do you feel like you're representing something bigger every time you step out?
Yeah, we were raised that way. We were raised to be like, you probably already said it, but you have to be better than the expectations. You got to be better than what they're expecting you to be. You have to think a little bit more proper. Your etiquette's got to be on point. You better hold all those doors and all that kind of stuff. And I noticed that anytime I go into Baltimore City, like if you go to a restaurant down there, no matter what color the people are, they all act that way. They all act like they're super hospitable and they want to help you and this and that. But as soon as it's 5 o'clock and they out, it's like it's a switch that kicks on. Ain't nobody looking at you when they're out on the street. Ain't nobody holding doors. It's, you know what I mean? Like they bump and push you and out the way and all that kind of stuff. Like it's definitely a mentality that you have to uphold in certain surroundings. Yeah. I don't know. It's just kind of like it's preached a lot.
For me, I definitely can't say it's a switch. Like I know you're talking to them, about them, but for me, that's just me every day. Like I said, put me in an environment, I react differently in different environments, but generally, I definitely try to hold that up, that standard anywhere that I'm at, even if I do decide to dress a little different. But again, given the environment, I'll adapt to that environment, right? But so it's a survivability thing. But otherwise, yeah, man, because I'm that same dude the way I am at the bank. You catch me at the grocery store, I'm that same guy. I might dress a little more lax maybe or something like that, but I still try to be, that friendly guy. I still try to, because I don't want, like us as Black men, yeah, like here, this class of us here, man, we are setting these examples, right? People people look at us from afar, whether it be on this podcast, certain things. So, even when we're doing it like this and we're speaking civilized, right? We're not, we're not hostile. We're not, doing things a certain way. Cause that's just the kind of guys we are. But again, put us in a different environment and you can see another side of us. But overall, we try to just be, generally good dudes. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. But there are those characters that, like you said, yeah, they take it off as soon as the clock, strike 5, throw that cigarette in their mouth, and what I mean, load up and just get ready. You know what I mean? But as
yeah, I think for us specifically, as fellas here, I think it's kudos to our upbringing, our parents, our grandparents, aunts, uncles, all those influences. One of the core values that I actually have in Maya, we talk about it every morning. The last one that I have her say is to make our family proud. As soon as you walk out that door, you're a representation of the family. But then you can expand it, to you pull the lens out, to the culture. But it's how folks not only see you, but how do they see your family? And if it's your family, it's your circle of friends, it's their families, and then ultimately the culture too. But I think I think the true root of the problem is the upbringing of the kids that we see today, and what's happened in the past, things like that. But educating our youth, our fellow brothers, regardless of age and things like that, is I think the key factor here. Just knowing that I couldn't disrespect anybody that was older than me. Yes, ma'am, yes, sir, holding doors and things like that. That was the expectation that was set, but that was not necessarily always told to me. It was also demonstrated. So I think that's key there, is making sure that we continue to set the standard, but continue to raise the bar too.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I literally, I'm walking in the houses in like West Virginia and Hagerstown and, Southern PA or whatever. And our parents did a good job of naming us names that don't immediately tell you exactly what we are, because some of these houses that I go to, I'll tell you, like, they're historians, but it's a shrine of Confederate flags, or it's so many people are fans of the South for some reason. The rebel flag got to be everywhere. And here I'm walking down the driveway. Who knows what I'm gonna see when I'm walking this door? But it's like immediately I'm working with a population of 80 and up, and the way that they came up a lot differently. And using terminology and stuff that they probably ain't gonna and don't know really how to talk to you and stuff. And my initial conversation with you is gonna let you know whether you're gonna trust me or not, and know that this staff is gonna come after me and they're also gonna be trustworthy. And you haven't moved in 40 years. And the last time you moved, things were a lot different. Now you're gonna have a house full of people that look a lot different than you. So it's like I feel that every time I'm about to walk into the door. It's like I'm gonna pep up. I'm gonna leave them pleasantly surprised when I leave here, and I'm gonna get a call in a couple of days saying if they want to go with us based on the presentation. And it's a feather in my cap, but it's based on the way that we came up. It's like our parents used to let us go crazy at the house. That's why we're talking about like the little ones, Brandon, Braxton, like at the house, our parents let us go wild. I just told my mom the other day, like, I don't know how you let us play basketball up and down the hallway all day long, all night long. Like, as soon as you walk out this door, you act like you know. You can be that, whatever you want at the house, but when you walk out this door, that's when you turn it on. And she said there's only one time that I ever like threw a fit in public, and it was the last time I ever threw a fit in public. That's ingrained in this. But I don't know, like, I'm about to have a kid, probably gonna be a lot lighter than me. And here I'm like, man, it'd be dope if I could have gone to an HBCU, and I'm gonna have a kid that probably doesn't look like he's supposed to be at a HBCU. And again, when it gets this Mike McDaniel situation, I'm like, what you identify as in school, I'm gonna say you're a Black person, but your mom is white. So I don't know. Do you say the N-word? Are you allowed to? Like, you're gonna have to make that distinction, because I'm not gonna be the one to answer for it. There's a lot of dudes that look like that, but you don't realize it. The hoodest Black dude you ever see. Both his parents are dark Black, but they came out lighter than me and Don. It's weird.
It happens. It is. Right.
Dwayne, you came up in a more diverse area though, right? Like your schools and everything, you have people from all over the place, right?
Yeah, but I actually started out in Carroll County in Sykesville or Eldersburg.
Piney Ridge
Run.
Piney Run.
Well, Piney Run was the community. Piney Ridge was school, yeah. But no, growing up, middle school and high school, it was definitely diverse. But when I'm taking them tests and filling out the paperwork and stuff like that, like I always second guess myself, like what should I put on the Scantron and fill in that bubble? You know what I mean? Should I put Black? Should I put Pacific Islander, other? I don't think I ever put the same every single time. And it's not that I didn't identify with one or the other. Like, I grew up in a Black household, but I'm half Filipino. Now my girl's Filipino. Now I'm learning, the roots there. I didn't grow up learning the Filipino culture. But do I identify? Yes, on paper, but I didn't grow up in that culture. So can you say that I am Filipino? I am, yes, but that's that's what you're saying. Like, only I can answer that question, right? You can't answer that for me, or nobody can cast judgment on what I am. But I know, like, for example, the bow tie, right? And it's funny that this came up. When I was thinking about today, I was like, man, I gotta get back to actually who I am. Like, I've always been one to be different because I embraced my cultural differences. And imagine growing up, y'all had Phil, Don, I had Dueno. Like, never met another Dueno. I can say that because I can get all my usernames on all the handles and stuff like that. So it's like at times I was like, man, why my folks why my dad named me this and another thing. But now I'm like, as I got older and understood, like that is me. Like I don't have to separate myself from anybody else. I'm already different. So embracing that, and that's just me. Like like I was saying about the bow tie. Like I've always loved the Prohibition era, the 1920s, like where everybody stepped out. They were wearing 3-piece suits, regardless. It'd be 95 degrees outside, but they had suits on, right? Like I love that era, and that's where I got it from. Where I liked dressing up and being, presentable at all times. Grandma, she never stepped out of the house without dressing to the nines, especially on church. There's I don't know how many different hats she had, but it's seeing how they operated, seeing how granddad operated. Like that's what they did. So call me an old soul, but that's just, what I chose to embrace. I could have went down a different path. I like to say that beat the odds, but that's a personal decision, and it's only gonna be harder for future generations because there's so many different categories now beyond race, right? That you can identify as. So, I mean, that'd be I think a good topic too. It's like who are you? Like, what is Black? What is white? What is Pacific Island? What are you on that Scantron boat? I don't even know what they're putting on right now. Brandon, by chance in terms of
bro. All I know is when you apply, like, so for instance, like for my niece and nephew, like it does say Black and then it says mixed, but it doesn't, like I circle Black, I scratch out Black, I scratch out white, I scratch out other. Like I did that shit for myself growing up. Like,
so why did you do that?
I did it because I didn't feel like I was all Black. Like I always knew I wasn't all Black 100%. Like, so I'm like, why am I going to identify as only Black when that's not the facts? Like, I don't know. Like looking back at it, I mean, who I am today, like I don't have no problem when I'm doing a credit application, I got no problem putting Black. You know what I'm saying? Now, when I was 18, I was scared to put Black because I'm like, will it fuck my credit score up? Yeah, I'm gonna keep real.
I mean,
like,
that's legit.
You know what I'm saying? Like it was hard. Like I go and I put in the application. I'm like, if I check Black, are they gonna look at my application? Are they gonna look at my credentials? Like, or let's say you're putting in for a job, you might need to say Black because they need to hire some minorities. Like you never know. So it was like you really had to do your homework. Like, and I feel like in today's society, it's almost like you don't have to, but you still do. Like, and this hiring stuff is what I'm getting at. Like, my whole thing is, it's not about what the league, like, obviously the league is identifying him as Black. But that's the reason why the 49ers are getting those picks because of training a minority. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, what does he identify as? Like, if we went back and looked at like all his high school his transcripts where he's checked, if he checks white on all of them, they shouldn't get no minority. Because he don't feel like he's a minority. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that was my only thing about the whole situation. It's just like you have to, like that girl Rachel who was identifying as Black and she was all white. You know what I'm saying? If she wants to be Black, God damn it, let her be. If you want to be Black, come on, we got more than enough room. If you want to be white, that's cool. I just feel like whatever you want to identify as is what you should be able to be. Like shit, for God's sake, if we allow people now, if you identify as a man, I have to call you a man.
I knew that's where this is going.
That's what I'm saying.
I wasn't trying to take it there, but it's a fact. It's a fact. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's almost deeper than race now. Like it's sexuality, it's race, it's everything. So I can't tell somebody they can't identify as Black, but I can tell them they identify as a female when they were born a male. You know what I'm saying?
So I'm curious to see how these surveys or scantrons or whatever they're filling out now with these kids, because they're identifying as other or whatever it may be at a younger age, and it's an interesting time.
No, you
I mean,
good.
at the end of the day, it would be like nice and cute and neat if they were like, oh, we're just all American. But at the
Yes.
same time, that business aspect of it, you can't shake it. Like, there's too many grants out there. There's too many title this, title that schools need help with. There's too many businesses that rely on those types of credits and stuff. It's a huge business aspect nowadays, and it has been for a long time.
Yeah.
So, like, for people like us that we feel as though we have a mixed background and stuff, I always got a kick out of that, especially once I realized how like they really base so many statistics off of who was going to score this and who was going to score that and who needed the most help. I was circling all kinds of boxes and stuff. I didn't care. But as I got older and realized how important that stuff really was, you got to consider it. Like, people screwing around with those boxes and stuff and not being completely honest as to what they identify with and stuff, you don't really know the ramifications of what it could be. It could be a huge negative, like Brandon was saying, in terms of you not getting a second look for a credit app, or it could mean thousands of dollars going to your community because you were that 1% or that one number that got them over a threshold. Like,
but why does that matter?
It shouldn't have mattered from the beginning, but
it just shouldn't. But
it shouldn't
the way
matter.
we live.
I got multiple scholarships because I was a Black kid with a 4.0.
Yep.
Like, I wasn't getting all these scholarships raining in from. I mean, I got like offers to go and like play places or stuff like that, but when it came to actually like scholarships, it's like NAACP award, Robert Moten scholarship, and stuff like that. So it's like if we say, all right, we're all Americans, kind of strips away a lot of the work that's already been put in to get. Like, if I told my dad when he was talking all about like applying over at the college, and I got to that question, well, they sent a questionnaire, a full questionnaire after the application asking about like your race and stuff like that, and I was like, I'm going to take advantage of this because I know you're going to look at it a little more closely. And I laughed with my dad about it because I was like, it is crazy that this could be seen as an advantage. Like, after everything, after all these years, now it's unfair that I can check this box. Like, some people are going to think it's unfair. Man, it's a real shame.
It should have always been that for diversity, but unfortunately it wasn't, right? It was set against us. Now, like you said, and all of a sudden it's for us, right? But what are you gonna do? We just take advantage, I guess, right?
But it's also how many situations can you say you get to actually,
right?
But is it an advantage when you're working? You know what I'm saying? Like, because when it comes race time, at the end of the day, they know who you are. You can outperform anybody at all, but they give you pennies on the dollar. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, just taking it back to the head coach. You're that 1% in the whole league who's actually getting paid, which you should be getting paid. You're getting the opportunity that you should be getting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. That's why I've always tried to base my.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
Oh no, I was just gonna say that's why I've always tried to base my career moves off of relationships, right? I've tried to establish relationships everywhere I go, and like we was talking about, like checking about like if I'm applying for someone, I want to let them know I'm Black because I want to know if you want a Black person in there. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna try to surprise you, and then when you see me, like, oh, and I want you to want me. If you don't want me, I don't want to be there because I'm not gonna be happy or comfortable or satisfied when I'm there. So I want to know that you want me there. So and then from there, I try to build the relationships. Like my building rapport has always helped me climb. And I think I've always been in that lower percentage who've kind of done better than some of the others. But I'm sure but then there were plenty of times when the last place I was at, I know for a fact I couldn't get a higher position because of my race. Like, I know it. I'm like, there was just no way. I just couldn't. I got in, but I couldn't go any higher. I got the craziest of things. I get somebody, and I'm telling you, I applied for multiple positions. And the only reason I kept applying was because my manager kept insisting that I do. So I was like, all right. I get one that somebody says, oh yeah, you're a great candidate. We love your resume. You have the experience, but we're not hiring right now. We're just trying to make sure that when we are hiring, that we have, the experience. We're not hiring right now. We're just trying to make sure that when we are hiring, that we have, the experience. We're just trying to make sure that when we are hiring, that we have, the experience. We're just trying to make sure that when we are hiring, that we have, the experience. We're just trying to make sure that when we are hiring, that we have, the experience. We're just trying to make sure that when we are hiring, that we have, the experience. We're just trying to make sure that when we are hiring, that we have, the experience. We're just trying to make sure that when we are hiring, that we have, the experience. We're just trying to make sure that when we are hiring, that we have, the experience. We're just trying to make sure that when we are hiring, that we have, the experience. We're just trying to make sure that when we are hiring, that we have, the experience. We're just trying to make sure that when we are hiring, that we have, the experience. We're just trying to make sure that when we are hiring, that we have, the experience. We're just trying to make sure that when we are hiring, that we have, people already lined up, and then we can circle back around, and as long as they're still interested, then we can move them forward. Okay, all right. However that works. Then you have another situation. Oh, well, you don't quite have this experience. Well, no, I do have the experience. I just demonstrated to you how I had what I've done in this field to solidify this position. I'm not sure what you're getting at. You say I need to do this, and that, and I showed you, and I told you what I've done, and I've given you details about how I've done it. Okay, well, you know what? It would be, we really wouldn't be able to jump. It's a significant jump for you in pay. We don't typically jump anyone from this amount to that amount. But I'll talk to the hiring manager, and we'll get back to you. Oh, okay. I got another one. I mean, I'm telling you guys, at least 4 situations. I got one more that I went through 4 interviews, like 4 interviews. Everybody's like, oh man, you're gonna get this position, you're gonna get in there. And last minute, it's like, oh, we really wanted you, or you're great. We highly encourage you to apply again. The next go around when we have this happening again, everybody loved you. It's, we just decided to, okay, no problem. So I left. You know what I mean? And then, so I went where I felt I was appreciated. And that's the other thing, man. When you're educated, man, you know what you're worth. And we go back to betting on yourself. I always bet on me, like I say, bro. So, and then I'm making more than I would have made in any of those, maybe just one. One of them I probably would have made. I'm not gonna lie. But for all the others, but sometimes God works in mysterious ways too, man. You know what I mean? Because you're forcing something that's not for you. Right? Like, it's not for you. Everything keeps telling you this is not the place for you. And, and so I went and found my worth. And it's nothing like I would have been doing. Like, it's crazy. But, but yeah, I know I was facing it because I was already one of the few Black people in the company, like in my area. You know what I'm saying? So I already had that, going against me.
But see, that's the frustrating thing. The frustrating thing is, look, if I'm working for a business that's 5 minutes from my house, why shouldn't I have the same opportunity as everybody else? Why shouldn't I be able to grow and flourish with the company that I chose to work for? You hired me, but yet you want me to stay at ground zero because you look at me different.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, being Black shouldn't be an obstacle. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, like, you went to multiple interviews. I've gone through it myself. I've gone through it where I've been at the company for 16 years, and literally, I can look at people who've been there for 5, who are more advanced than me, just because they're not Black. You see what I'm saying? That's what it boils down to. Oh, we have a 3-man panel. We want you to do a little bit more on the back end of learning management. Okay, all right, cool. Like, I'll do it. You do it, and you still don't get the job.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, it's like they almost want you to leave. You know what I'm saying? And it's like one of them things. It's like, I shouldn't have to leave a job that I'm comfortable at, or I shouldn't have to go 20 minutes away where I'm making $2 more an hour, but yet I'm driving 6 more hours a week just to feel appreciated. You should feel appreciated anywhere. Right. It's a job. They're paying you. They should make you feel like an employee, not make you feel like a slave. like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. Right, man.
And it's one of the things is like, we shouldn't always have to feel like we have to leave a company to excel or to be better or to be appreciated. It should be the company.
Exactly.
So there's 2 things I want to mention on that point.
And I was a high performer too. That's the other thing. I'm gonna say that too. I'm a high performer. Like that. You check the numbers. Like I'm up there. Like, there's no, you know what I'm saying? I'm not one of those guys. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm barely getting by, but I'm trying to get the, like I hold it down. Like, when you look at my numbers, like I'm, yeah. So anyways, I wanted to say that. And I'm sure, Brandon, your situation too, like, you know what I mean? I didn't want to make sure, because sometimes, people do that, you know what I'm saying? But I just
know. You look at the record and you be like, bro, I can't help you. Johnny Cochran could help you.
You feel me? So yeah.
I got receipts. But no, 2 things on that. Just want to mention. Like, one of the quickest ways to increase your income is to actually leave the company and go somewhere else, because we have that negotiation power. Back in the day when we first started, or not back in the day, but years ago, first started getting into the job hunt, they said, they're looking for loyalty, this and that, and other thing. But nowadays, cats can get in there 6 months, get their experience and bounce and offer themselves to another company. But let me ask y'all this. If y'all are in the hiring position, is there any underlying biases that y'all have? Let's be honest. Or have you been in a position where you're hiring somebody for a position? Are you like, oh, look, I see this person's resume, I see this person's name, where they live at, where they worked at? You've never thought about it that way?
I worked in recruiting for a number of years, and it wasn't like I looked at people differently. If it was a Black person that walked in, it's weird to say, like, I would give them benefit of the doubt before having to like prove anything to me. I would treat them the exact, like, knowing that if another person got this person to walk in and they sat down in across from them, it wouldn't be a blank slate, it'd be an uphill battle. So for me, I'm just coming in, and my first thing is, who am I hiring this person for? What situation am I putting them into? There's a lot of the places I was sending him to. I'm like, I know the dudes that the hiring manager over there, bunch of good old boys, and let me tell you exactly the environment that you're going to go into and make sure that you're going to feel comfortable, and it's not going to be something that you're not going to want to do. But it was also, on the flip side, I'd have a lot of guys that they'd see I was Black, and all of a sudden, whew, man, I thought it was good. Like, nah, I need you to, I want you to feel relaxed enough to tell me the truth in these answers. Like, I'd get a lot more guys that would actually tell me if they were going to pass the drug test or not, or if they were actually going to take the job or not and stuff. They would open up a little more. But I'm like, I need you to understand this conversation isn't going to be the same conversation you have when you go and interview with them. So let me prepare you for it and everything. But I was the same one that I'd have a guy that had a record, like just got out a year ago, and he comes in and is talking, and I'm like, this dude served his time. You know what I mean? Like, trying to actually give him an opportunity to go back out there, but now I'm putting my name on the line as well. So my expectation of the Black dudes, or Black people just in general, when they came in, I wanted them to succeed. So my level of expectation was higher for them, if anything else, but it didn't change me from putting them into jobs. It just may change which job I can put you into. But I just don't think it was an even playing field otherwise, because most of the time, I don't want to say where I was recruiting or anything, but most of the dudes that came in, if you looked a certain way, they were already thinking of the manual labor position they were going to throw you over to, knowing that you're not going to be there for more than a month. And now if you leave, you're out of the recruiting search for the next 6 months. You know what I mean? Like, I tell people before I send them out, like, if you don't like this place, do not quit, because you'll be blackballed. So I don't want to send you somewhere you're not going to like. So let's be real about this conversation and build up the expectations. I just don't think anybody's looking out for people like that. Like, the typical hiring manager's not looking out for guys like that you just don't fit the qualifications. And a lot of dudes that look the part can play the part in the interview. Like, a lot of the white dudes that came in, it's like Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber can do whatever he wants to do, hop on any rap record. He can be hood as he wants to be, Miley Cyrus, those type of, and then all of a sudden, you know what, I feel like switching it up. And they go right back to lollipop rap or pop songs or country music, and we completely forget about Miley Cyrus with 21 Savage or Mike Will made it type of a thing. You know, that switch up, it's just not fair in the hiring process, because Black people you're not just going to change the fact that you got cornrows. That's a normal Black that's a normal Black hairstyle, but when they walk into an interview, they get treated differently. When your name is Tyrell or Dante or anything typical of a Black community, you're not getting interviewed for that associate management position. It just doesn't happen.
Right. You're right about that.
We got to get into positions of power. That's all it really comes down to. And if it's not going to work at the current place, then create something.
Mm-hmm.
And see, I feel bad too, because I get on my friends about naming your kids, like Dwayne would say. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, you can't name your kids certain names because it automatically gives hiring I hate to say it, like, it's a stereotype. Like, you can't have your kids named Bentley. Like, I mean, you can get away with Bentley, but like, there's names out there like, I don't know, I can't do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Draymond Green. Draymond
We
Green.
get the
Like, come on, bro.
fuck-
If you say Draymond Green, come on, bro. You're not getting hired with that. Like, luckily he made it to the NBA, but you're not getting hired with that name because that is definitely a black thing. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. It's a beautiful name. But like some of these people, man, growing up, like especially our generation, they are wild with naming their kids. Like, it's no longer the Blakes, the Donnies, the Phillips, the Jeans. Like, it's just wild shit. Like, you can't even hyphenate it. You know what I'm saying? People be like, my name's BJ, but I'm like, what's your real name? Bro, that's a whole other story.
Yeah.
I mean, it's true story. You know, living through it and things like that. And to Gene's point earlier, it's about relationships, and that's the key takeaway from this. Like, it's not about what you know; it's about who you know. So if you know that the higher manager's boss, you know, you're more likely, regardless of the name, race, whatever it may be, you're more likely to get further in the interview process than if you didn't know anybody in the company. And that's, you know, I've been fortunate enough to say that I've been able to utilize my contacts, my resources, my network to get where I'm at today. And that's the key, you know, but breaking down that initial barrier, just because you're a different color, you look a little different, why should I not talk to you or communicate with you or, you know, try to learn from you? And then going back to, you know, what folks identify themselves as now, like, will the names matter in 5 years, 10 years? If race doesn't matter or gender doesn't matter, you know, things like that. So who knows? Because I know at one point, like with you know, I know some folks that have unisex names, you know, like Ryan was a girl, or a Nikki who was actually a guy or a girl, and Kelly was actually a dude. So I don't know, we'll see how it pans out. But I can definitely tell you, you know, coming up, I felt like I had to move the needle a little harder than everybody else just because my name. But I embrace it. Look who we're at now. Stxhes Podcast going worldwide, you know, coming to a city near you. Right now.
Damn right.
We're in different states right now.
It'll be political affiliations. It'll be political.
Oh yeah, same thing.
Because that's the thing. It's like you can't narrow down anybody's race anymore. Nope. You can't narrow down anybody's sex anymore. But you can damn well narrow down if they're red or blue. Like,
no, you're right.
What side of the fence are you on? And that's the thing. It's like,
for how long is that going to be a thing? It's like you really can't underestimate what happens when the old guard gets out of the way. Like
that's what it is. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, like as soon as like open mind, like the next generation of kids that are coming up, you can't just give them you can't just give them the like racism and not think that they aren't going to see the truth online or see people that in real life. And it's like, none of that is like, you have to believe that to your core and just completely say nothing else is correct. It's like, it's forced behavior at that point. Like before, the 60-year-olds that came up, they had the information that was presented to them. And then they had the propaganda on TV, and then they had whatever, and then they had their parents. That was the only thing that they really saw. And if they didn't get out of their hometown or home area, that was really all they saw their whole life until, you know, their grandson or granddaughter came home with somebody of a different race. Now, as soon as a kid can pick up a phone, they're able to to look up info. They can prove you wrong as a parent immediately. You just go to bed. That's all you can say.
Yeah.
The next generation.
But if you're the parent controlling that phone, then you got the power, man. So it's
to a extent, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Like Philip said, when we were younger, it was like we would bring home an article. Be like, I told you were wrong, Daddy, and it's an article. Now it's just you just type it in your phone. Be like, I told you.
And if you can't get the access, your friend that don't got parental controls on their phone got the access. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just, you know.
Bro, we didn't even have like all the channels growing up, but we found a way to find channel 26 on the, you found a way to get over there. No parental controls. Like There ain't no way in the world. Like, I got so many screens in this house that I would have to try and lock down and try and remember codes and all that stuff. Now it's, and I'd rather you have accurate information anyway. Like, having a kid coming up, I think it's going to be really annoying to make them, or to try and have them think and critically, and all the whys I'm end up getting out of it. But it's so important to just not go along with that. I don't know everything. I'm going to give you my rendition of what it is, but yes, there is going to be some gray areas you got to make your own decision on. But we got to give these next kids some credit. I look forward to what the future holds. It's just like the 38-year-old coach getting hired. That's awesome, because now you're getting some new points of views that, and bringing in it, just because he is biracial, that's a completely different point. Do we have any other biracial head coaches?
Man, even
NFL, I don't think so.
Even beyond that, man, President Obama, one of the youngest, presidents ever biracial president. I mean, so that was big in itself, and then, now Kamala, like, what I mean, or however you pronounce her name, but this, yeah, like you said, it'll be some definitely unprecedented times. Like, it'll be definitely, a different vibe moving forward,
You got to see that representation for it to become real. Like, I remember when we were working at Silver Oak with the at-risk kids, and they have, like, if you did really well, you get a trip home, and most of them lived like down in the city, PG County, Montgomery County, Baltimore County, and I got to take them down to like to the train station down in Owens Mills. And that was the first time, and the place was out in like the sticks. Like, just to even get to their place, if you tried to leave there, you got cornfields and everything around you before, like a mile before you get to the road. So when I go and pick them up and take them off of there, and they're going down like the back roads near Union Bridge and everything, they were just like amazed. And I was low key, I'm like, man, they know I live out here. I'm probably corny as hell to these dudes, and they're looking at the trees and they're like, cows and horses and all this stuff. It's like they didn't even think anything beyond their immediate vicinity. Like, think that anything else is out there possible. Like, how many older white adults changed their, even if it was a nit, a little bit, seeing Barack Obama carry himself the way that he carried himself for 8 years. There's so many people that had never seen a black person carry themselves like that, and so now all of a sudden that just threw a wrench in your game plan to tell your grandchildren all black people are this way. No, he looks black.
Pause on that real quick. I remember being at the bank, bro, and at one of the banks, right? And then so I remember speaking to a guy one time, and then he's talking to me, and he's like, man, I gotta tell you, I swear to goodness, it's real life. He's like, I gotta tell you, he goes, I've never interacted with a black person before. He's like, really? I'm like, really? He goes, yeah. Growing up, you're walking down, I remember walking with my dad. He goes, if we're walking down the sidewalk, black person's coming, our way, and we're going up the black person gets off the sidewalk, walks on the street, and then you pass. It was still like we didn't talk to them. They just got out of our way, And I remember this dude telling me how much he really enjoyed the experience, right, of working with me. And then to Brandon's point earlier, like, he's probably walking in the bank, like, not wanting to work with me. He's never worked with a black person before. He's ready for the next, hey, can I get somebody up there? But I'm the one that he has to end up working with. So he sits down, he has a conversation with me, sees that I'm well-spoken and whatnot, and, well-mannered and whatnot. And, and again, Dueno's point, attributing that to my parents, he said, hey, your parents did so well with you and so forth. And he couldn't wait to go tell his girlfriend, the older guy, but he's like, I want to tell my girlfriend about this experience. I never had that. And you think of how many years this man's been alive. I mean, this dude must have been in the 70s, to have never had an interaction with a black man, like a one-on-one. That's crazy. And it's so much so that he, like, it set something, it did something for him that, like you said, now who knows if he went and told his grandchild, if he has one or whoever, but I know that he told me personally he was going to go tell his girlfriend about this experience because he just never had. So, yeah, to all your points, man. But it's wild, but like this stuff is real. Like we talk about it, we don't personally experience on a regular, but it happens like that.
If I told you how many times I went to drop off something in the city for Amanda or whatever, or the once in the blue moon of visiting a classroom of hers. But even when she was working with the babies, like kindergarten and stuff, when I walked in the classroom, they would just look at me like, they didn't know what I was and nothing else. They were just like, and I could hear the whispers like, where's he from? Where, is he white? And I'd be like, am I? Like, I would have a good time with that. But it's to your exact same point, the flip side of that, these kids ain't never seen nothing different. Like Flip was just talking about. They know their little bubble. It's about 4 city blocks wide. They got everything that they could ever need in it. Their family's there, the corner stores are there, the school's there. They have no reason to go outside of it until they become adults and have to drive to a job or whatever. That's it. That's what they know. And it just blows you away. You would think that a metropolitan type of area would allow you access to all kinds of places. But when you've got everything you need, it's just like a small town. There's no reason to go much further than that. It's mind-boggling.